Hey there, and welcome to the Big Apple School podcast. My name is Sam.
And this is Mike.
And today we're asking what's the crack about beards and mustaches. Ooh dear. Okay, so we're going to describe our own faces. Yes, our own. Any facial hair we may or may not have. We're going to talk about what a beard and mustache is and some vocabulary therein. We will discuss famous people with their beards, iconic facial hair. We'll talk about losing hair and all kinds of things that a poor man might have, problems therein. The benefits of a beard, a good beard. Something called Movember will be discussed. Oh, yes. Maybe you know about it, Mike?
Of course we do.
Oh,
yes.
Good. We'll talk about that. Some of our listeners may have not heard of it, so we'll share that with them. Any beard products we use, and so on and so forth, and recommendations for this. So, Mike, do you want to take the lead and grill me on this topic?
Oh, yeah,
Go
sure.
ahead.
I mean, beards, and, they come in all shapes and hair. I'm more about hairstyle most of them beards, I must admit. I'm a little bit negligent of my beard.
Okay.
But usually I'll have a little bit of a beard, a slight little one.
Right.
Just to look a little bit older and a little more authoritative.
Okay.
So,
Trying to scare me.
oh, yeah. I mean, it's all about, it's all about scaring other people, right? And that's what...
We should describe our faces.
My face. Actually, I shaved my beard last week.
Dear.
I took a
You
professional...
didn't plan ahead for the podcast?
Well, yeah, it was before the issue of beard was raised, actually.
Too late. Too late.
Too late. I took a professional hair clipper. Called Wow. It's a famous.
I've heard of them.
Yes, American brand. Basically, I took it down to number 0 and all the way through. Yeah,
dear.
Did it in front of my mirror.
Yeah. Good stuff. Okay. So nothing wrong. Is it a shame? I don't think so. We'll talk a bit about that later. So, how would you describe your face shape?
My shape is a little bit. It's a bit like a teddy bear. It sort of has a slightly bit of a squarishness to it.
Be still your beating heart, young ladies.
It's a round
teddy bear face.
I know it's like a round shape with a slight bit of squareness to it. So it's a little bit broad.
Right.
And for people who have a slight bit of double chin, so that's a slight bit of fat underneath the chin.
Yeah.
It's actually good to have a small beard around that area because it masks the double chin.
Yeah. We'll get the benefits, but you've already mentioned one.
Absolutely.
Good, very efficient.
Absolutely.
Right. And I think, you'll correct me if I'm wrong, I think my head is kind of oval shape.
You're definitely an egg.
Yeah,
definitely an egg. Yeah,
I didn't say egg.
It's an egg oval shape, yes.
If you've never met me or saw me, I have a sunroof.
You have a sunroof?
I mean, I'm bald on top.
Oh, okay. I understand. You reflect light.
I used to hang about with older men. We used to be good friends and do stuff together and go. Actually, we used to give out leaflets, Bible leaflets in Ireland, and they were bald. And I used to make fun of them in a light-hearted way, as friends. But now,
is baldness something that's very common in Northern Ireland?
I haven't surveyed it. My grandfather, my mum's mum, was bald.
But I mean, compared to say the people of Novosibirsk, where your town.
Honestly, don't know. I honestly don't know. I haven't noticed any difference as far as I haven't noticed a huge difference that more people there are bald. I don't think it's the case.
You know what I see less of these days in the younger generation? I mean, they have the beards because the hipster generation has come back. The beards have come back.
Right.
But mustaches, I don't actually see much of mustaches.
Right.
Have you noticed?
Could it be that it's a difficult thing to grow?
Perhaps. Or maybe it gets in the way of eating.
Or is it, maybe get your cheese sandwich stuck in it or your egg.
Yeah.
A bit of egg and onion sandwich stuck in your... It would put you off, I think.
Yeah, put a bit of mayonnaise on it, it's not the...
How are your eyebrows?
My eyebrows are actually quite thick.
Yeah?
Yeah, so they're quite thick and they're, they accentuate my eyes, they say, but I don't know if that's true or not.
Mine can be bushy. And occasionally I have to trim them.
I can see the thinness. I can actually see the thinness. Yeah.
But there is a kind of a sometimes wiry.
Yeah, but I can see that you've been trimming them.
Oh, not so much.
Not so much?
Just when they get long and wiry in places,
Oh, I see. I see. I mean, for your information, I obviously don't wear glasses normally.
Okay.
Only during computers, playing games. Yeah, that's when I would wear glasses. But aside from that, I don't wear glasses. I've never seen you in glasses.
I do have glasses. I occasionally wear them, but not often, not every day. But I do wear them occasionally. And as far as beard and mustache, I have a little bit of growth at the present. My wife is keen on it, a little bit of stubble and a little bit of growth, and that's what I have. I've spent a little bit of time growing it at the moment, so it's there. It's quite small and thin, or thin anyway. But I have some facial hair, and you have too a little bit. But, as you say,
it grows quick for me. Facial hair grows very, very quickly for me, so I gotta keep it in check. Either I do two things. I always try to shave a little bit every morning, keep it up to date. Either that, or I just let it go. Yeah, you know what I mean. And if you let it go, maybe for a couple of weeks, it turns into a mini beard, and from that point onwards, it gets longer and longer.
Right.
Until
it starts sucking in people, in cars.
It's a strange thing. My beard, actually, once it grows long enough, it will start turning red.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always wondered what that is. Something in the genes, you know.
Actually, I have a friend to see him, and it's I was going to ask about. Is it right? What is it? I guess it's kind of my humor. Is it right that a man has a ginger beard? You know, my friend has blonde hair. You have black hair, but you might grow like a ginger beard or a red beard anyway.
Yeah,
a little bit of red, is it? Not ginger.
It's not completely red like a Scottish red.
Right.
But it's definitely red enough that when you see it, wow, this is red. Yeah. You'll notice it. Yeah. I mean, I think we should probably tell our audiences here in Novosibirsk why we consider ginger funny. Why we associate,
Well, I haven't discussed this with you yet, but there is a kind of joke that ginger people have no soul.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yeah, soulless gingers, right? We used to call
I don't subscribe to it, but I mean, I have a cousin who is ginger, but. And so it's possible in my family there is a ginger gene, if you like, and I guess it's common in anywhere in the world. I mean, but I guess in Ireland, Northern Ireland, it's probably more common, right? In that kind of Celtic genes. But
do you still what do you call? Do you still make jokes with ginger thing? Because in Australia we've become so politically
not
correct.
With ginger people.
Cannot actually make those jokes anymore.
If I'm talking to friends, if I'm talking to family, anything goes. I mean, with it, as long as you know your audience, you're not speaking to a wide audience. Yeah. You can say.
We used to call them. We used to call them children of the devil when we were kids. Demon spawn, basically, right? So you can't say those kind of things anymore in our culture. So
do you feel bad then when you have a ginger?
I'm okay with
more
it.
Evil?
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I've been surrounded by red-headed people all my life, so I'm good with it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, how long have you had a beard? And before even talking about the beards, right? Let's talk about some words, right, that are connected to beards and other facial hair.
Right.
What other forms of facial hair are there?
So I've had a thought about this.
Yeah.
In preparation, and you'll help me along. But goatee.
Goat.
A goatee. You have that word in Australia?
Of course we do.
So it's a little. It looks like a little goatee beard that a goat would have, and it's just a little bit under your chin. That goes straight down. Fuzz is another word that I found, but fuzz. I think it's probably not a good beard if you've got fuzz. Stubble, it's what I have at the moment. I guess you have too. It's a fine, it's not so thick beard. It's not. It's not quite there.
Patches of black.
Facial hair, 5 o'clock shadow. Can you explain that?
5 o'clock shadow. I've heard of this term before. Right.
It's when a guy is shaved in the morning, but he's got those good genes and his beard has grown. He's got that rough-looking look that he hasn't shaved all day. It looks like he hasn't shaved for a day, but in reality, he shaved this morning and it's grown back.
That's why they call it a 5 o'clock shadow. Because by the time it turns 5 o'clock, it turns into
That's it. That's the idea. Designer stubble.
Never even heard of that one.
I don't know if I respect this. I'm gonna be honest. I think if a man has to go so far as to design his beard, it depends on the beard, I guess. But if it's designer stubble, to me, he's trying too hard.
I'm sorry, stubble or
stubble.
Stubble. What does that mean?
It's this little fine, very, very short hairs that, it hasn't grown out as a beard yet. But it's like designed, it's fashioned and shaped.
Oh, you know what?
To make him look.
I was at a barber about 3 weeks ago, and I think he was trying to do exactly that on my beard. And I said, no, I don't need that with a beard. Right? He was trying to teach me, like if you shape it like this, and then we shape it like this, you're going to have an awesome devilish-looking beard.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't want to look like a devil.
Yeah.
Right?
And plus, I think it's trying too hard.
Yeah.
For me.
I thought it was a bit too, just a little bit too contrived.
Yeah.
It felt. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. For me, I know guys will do this, but for me, if a guy tries too hard, it just doesn't look right.
Yeah.
If he's sitting too perfectly, that's not a guy to me, it's a guy, but, it's not my style.
It's so beard is so, because, humans look at each other in the eyes. Beard is quite close to that. Yeah. So if it looks too contrived, it looks double contrived.
It's got to be a bit rough.
That's right. Got to have a natural asymmetry to it.
Right, guys?
Yeah.
Right, guys? You agree?
I think so.
Whiskers. And interestingly, I guess it's mustache, right? But you got whiskers. I seen a guy last week with these big, long,
like Salvador Dali.
Yeah,
a little bit of curl at the end, or
and I don't know if curl was straight out, maybe, but yeah. And interestingly, if I'm correct, the word in Russian for mustache is whiskers. It translates as whiskers as well. It's the same. Yeah. If I'm correct, people will write if I'm wrong.
Okay.
But as I know, usi, I think is the word. People will correct me if I'm wrong. Sideburns. Sideburns is another one. Bristles. A full beard, of course. Mutton chops. Have you heard of mutton chops?
Yeah, of course.
Your big, thick sideburns coming down from your head, coming down from your ear, and then going out towards onto your cheeks and everything.
Well, it was the English bare knuckle boxer look.
Right.
Yeah.
The
bare knuckle fighters.
Exactly. Yeah. It was like very popular in the 1800s and stuff.
Yeah. I used to see sketchings of the bare knuckle fighters who have mutton chops, beating each other to half death, with their fists.
Exactly. That's what we do in the UK.
You still do that?
A Van Dyke. Do you know what that is?
Oh, I've heard of that one. Yes.
It's like it's your mustache and goatee. It's like Robert Downey Jr. has, I think, something like that. And I come up with a few ideas of my own. You can tell me what you think. A beard could be called face garnish. Do you like it?
What's garnish?
I mean, it's a garnish for your face,
okay.
to keep
all right.
add a bit of flavor to your face.
Yeah.
A man garden.
A man garden.
If you got your man garden, and maybe some men try to put things in there or shape it some way.
It is technically a man garden.
A weather shield. Because you're coming to Siberia, or Russia or whatever, you get this weather shield for your face.
Honestly, I haven't felt the effect. I had a little bit of a beard, and I didn't feel that it was protecting me against the harsh winds here. To be honest, only a face mask does that.
Okay, yeah, and tashes as well, which is short for mustache. But yeah.
And how long have you had a beard? And why do you do it? I do it because I'm lazy. How about you?
So I don't really. I mean, I've got the stubble there, sort of a mustache stubble and beard and all, and it's kind of, if I grew it longer, it would be a full beard. But I don't. I would say that I'm not bearded at the moment. But I keep shaving it and growing it and shaving it and growing it. So I've got that more like stubble, not designer. But when I was younger, I really tried to grow a beard.
Oh, okay.
And I did for a while, but some people were like, "That doesn't look right for you." People that had known me, for a long time, my mom, other people, found it strange to suddenly see me with this facial hair.
Okay, now I gotta ask this question.
Yeah.
Sandwich in between, because it's just kind of like virginity, kind of.
Okay.
At what age did you have your first beard?
That is a good question. I can't tell you, but I can remember growing when I was 23. Trying to grow it, not being as successful as I would have liked, to be honest. getting some growth, but there were areas that were patchy. And I was,
At what age did you achieve a nice bush, even round?
Well, to be honest, I haven't been dedicated enough to it to keep it for long enough to have a good bush, I would say, because I haven't grown it out for years.
Really?
So, full beard or anything, I haven't done that for years. I guess when I was a few years ago, maybe 6-7 years ago, I would have had the longest beard, but it was still a little bit patchy on cheeks and mustache. Now, if I grew it, I think I would get much better results. But it's a kind of a thing of shame if a man, even a young man, can't grow a full beard, and it's. But now I think I would have success.
And does growing a beard, does that add value to your face when you start to lose the hair on the top?
Well, so as I have that issue, I don't want to say problem because it's not a problem, but I have that maybe style, whether without choice or I have short, sparse on the top. I'm growing taller than my hair, you see, and and so for me, I think, and for many guys, I think there are a lot of bald-headed guys who choose to grow a beard or a goatee or something, and I do think it adds character to them. And for me personally, I think that it can add some character.
I feel the same way about hair at the top. Yeah, right. Top of my head. I feel exactly the same, so I'm very cautious about
You're
hair.
making me jealous.
But I never felt the same way about the beard, unfortunately. But I know... Hey?
Would you ever grow long hair?
I have. When I was 19, I had a ponytail.
Right.
Yeah. So, but however, as I grow older, the top of my forehead the hair starts receding a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah. So ponytail hair style isn't the best look at this age.
Yeah.
I think I tend to sort of grow it and then shape it up, so make it spiky at the top with a little more volume. Yeah. But for me, a man's hairstyle says a lot about a character. And I assume the same with beards, right? I mean, would you agree with that?
I think so. I think a beard is a thing of respect. If a man can grow a full and a clean and a good beard, I think he's got he can gain respect from that potentially. Maybe not every beard, but I think if it's fairly well kept but not over trimmed, as we talked about, then I think it's a good thing for a man.
I have to agree with this because originally I didn't really like beards until I saw the power of it. I mean, I have a slight bit of a
power
of a beard, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I have a slight bit of a baby face, so a lot of people think I'm quite a bit younger than they are. And when I actually grow a beard, it helps.
Right.
You can kind of see it. They don't talk down to you. They don't actually talk to you like you're 23.
Right. Yeah.
In Russia, obviously, 23-year-olds considered a full-grown man. But I suppose when we're from, you're not really an adult till you're 25.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, especially in certain jobs,
and if you,
that commands respect and authority, you need that extra age factor. For people to listen to you.
Right.
And beards can come.
So they can add that kind of. They can make you look older or more sophisticated.
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
Tom Selleck. Do you know Tom Selleck?
Yes, of course. Yeah. The man of man.
The man of man. The man of man. The icon.
The icon of masculinity.
He's got exactly. He's the icon of masculinity, and he's for as long as I know, he's got that mustache, just a mustache, but a good full big mustache. And Cheers. He was in Cheers. You want to go where everyone.
So when was his heyday? 70s? 80s? No, it would have been the 80s.
I don't remember.
70s must have been.
I don't know when was Cheers popular? Was it 80s?
70s.
70s.
Yeah,
really?
Late 70s.
Wow,
I remember.
Okay.
Yeah, but it could be 80s. I don't know.
But then I don't know when. I would say 70s, 80s he was most popular because you had the TV shows as well. He was in a lot of TV shows, films after that.
I see.
Cheers, and then I think he was in a lot of films, like cop films and stuff, wasn't he?
Yeah. There was a few. I remember the posters. But I think by the 90s, I think beards kind of went out of style. And then they made a comeback in the late millennium.
When my dad got married, he got married sort of late. It would have been, I guess, late 70s, early 80s, late 70s. He had a big kind of mop hair, like a bowl style, and a mustache. a proper good mustache. And I mean, it was the style, flares and all that crap. And it was really the style.
And that benefited him.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was a fashion thing then. And I guess if you didn't follow the fashion, you might have been looked down on, or yeah. So it brings us to the question that we want to ask. How does a beard benefit a man? And we've talked a little bit about it, but let's go into it in more detail. What does it give? I mean, in Siberia?
Look, I mean, I've only been here for 2 months, so I don't know if this is going to be, what did you say, a weather shield?
Yeah.
Is this going to be a weather shield? Let me test it out and let you know that fact, right? But I assume that nothing less than fur here would keep you warm. Yeah, so I don't know, maybe it does benefit, maybe it doesn't, maybe it does have a practical use, but I mean, you've been here for a few years, so you must know the full benefits of it.
But I haven't had my full beard here. I haven't, to be honest, I haven't felt the need to. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's cold here, but you wrap up well, plenty of good clothes, you don't have to have a beard. You can even have a sunroof, in the top of your head, and you're okay. I don't know. I think it could benefit in giving warmth, but whether or not it's absolutely necessary. As we talked about, it can change your age. You can be an icon with it. I mean, there are guys who, I was going to say guys and girls, but guys only, who have beards and mustaches, and if they shave them, people would like, who the heck is that? There are people, and we'll come to it later. I want to talk about them later, but they wouldn't know who they are. And as well, have you ever noticed that big actors, when they finish a film,
they do.
A really popular franchise, maybe they start to grow a beard.
That's right, the beard and the baseball hat.
I think they're trying to separate themselves from that image. I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe I'm reading into it too much. But I think they're trying to avoid being typeset. They want people to see them as, I'm not just Captain America, or I'm not just that person. I'm a different person. I'm an actor, and I can do other roles. And maybe this is the reasoning, maybe not. But Chris Evans, who plays Captain America, has a beard, or had a beard after he finished. He's now. I think he's out of it now, but spoiler alert.
Right. So you're saying that beards can conceal a man's identity?
No, but, potentially. Yes. But what I'm also saying is that they can show him to be a different character or a different person. Especially if you're an actor, like Captain America never has a beard, right? But if Chris Evans, the actor, has a beard, then people say, okay, but this is just the actor then. It's not, they don't look at him and say, that's Captain America, as they might if he didn't have the beard. But they'll say, oh yeah, he's a good actor. Maybe we'll put him in something else. And that's what I think the reasoning is behind it. And I've noticed that, a few people do that.
I actually had an interesting episode with the beard. When I was at the Sydney airport coming to actually Seoul, just before I got to Novosibirsk, I went through Seoul. And there must have been like 50 people in the line at the airport, going through the security checkpoint. And I was the only one who called out because I had a beard. I had actually quite a long beard when I got to Seoul. And they made me stand in front of this machine that spins around and scans your body 360 degrees.
Right.
And I went to the security officer afterwards. He said, you're clear, you're ready to go. And I said, it's a beard, isn't it? That's why you pulled me over, right?
Yeah.
It's a beard, right? So there is, apparently in Sydney, right? I have reasons to believe that they're suspicious of people who have long beards. Yeah. Okay. So it's something to do with security risks. Right.
Okay.
So definitely conceal my identity.
Yeah. Actually, this is a good point because I have shaved before I went on holidays or before I traveled just to avoid being stereotyped into any kind of group that might be considered dangerous.
But you see, I took my passport photo, my reissued passport photo, fresh one, with the beard on.
Your passport has beard,
beard on it. Yeah. Right. So as soon as they looked at that and they looked at me, they just went go straight to that auto scanner.
Yeah.
Right. I was the only one out of 50 people.
So we talked about benefits, so that's a negative because if you have taken, and I took a driving license photo with a decent enough beard, and then you kind of, whenever you present that identity card, you have a beard. And so if you want to then shave your beard, you might look differently. And they'll say, is this the right guy? Is this his brother? You know, it could potentially mask your identity and cause problems, I guess, too, in that respect.
Hey, so, Sam, I got a question to ask you.
Yeah.
You mentioned the Movember, right? I remember, this is something I've heard. I thought it was a really funny term when I heard it. I do know about it, but can you go into detail a little bit about that?
Okay, sure. So Movember is, of course, a play on words with November. And you can guess what month it happens.
November.
It happens every year at November, and it's an event involving the growing of moustaches. And it's to raise awareness of men's health issues, so health problems that only men have. And so a guy will maybe participate by agreeing to collect some money for the charity, and he'll grow his mustache, maybe beard as well, for the whole month. And maybe he'll start a little bit earlier just to get it going. And they, if you go on the website, you can see some of the pictures and stuff for Movember, and you can get, I think there's some impressive ones and some creative ones and stuff there too. So it's worth checking out if you're interested.
You know, this is so interesting. This is so interesting because I had this exact same thing. I was teaching a class here about charities and how charities in the West raise money. They often do funny activities. Yeah. And I found that some students kind of go, why? Why would they do that? Because one of the big things that Australia has is actually the opposite of Movember. Right. We have what's called a big shave. Okay. Yeah? So, and it's to create awareness of cancer. Yeah. And it's charity for that. So the idea, the charity model is very simple. You do an act of great feat or great bravery,
or just make yourself look silly.
Or some silly, and then people will sponsor you and give you money, and you give that money to the charity of your choice. Yeah. So in Australia, it's called a big shave. Yeah. Basically, you shave your head down to number 0.
Oh, goodness.
Or your beard down to 0.
Wow.
Right? Okay. And something that you've been growing for years. It has to be a commitment of some sort. And people would give $50, $100, $200. Yeah. And if you collect from, let's say, 5 to 10 people, that's, hundreds of dollars in the piggy bank, right, for the charities. Right. So Movember is...
Watch out for it.
Watch out for that, right?
Yeah, Movember.
Yeah. And obviously, once you get a Movember, you need to apply some products, right? I mean, because like hair is the same. You got to apply
what do we use? So guys, I mean, traditionally, or at least... How would we say in my day? I guess when I was grown up, or when I was younger, like leaving school age, guys started to be more into a lot of varied and maybe excessive beauty products or hygiene products.
Yeah, we used to call them metro males back in those days.
And so, but I'm not that kind of guy. But however. If you got a beard, you need, and even if you don't have a beard, you need to have stuff to take care of your face.
Well, tell us about that.
To take care of your...
I've never done that in my life.
Your face garnish. Really? No, I mean simple things like shaving cream. Yeah. Or shaving gel. Yeah. A razor. Or an electric razor. Yeah. Some people have beard oil.
Beard oil?
Have you ever heard of it?
No.
I don't... It's not my thing, but I don't frown on it. But I think it's to promote, not to give you a beard, but it can help it maybe grow a bit more healthily or something. I personally wouldn't buy it, but it's an interesting idea. I guess it's a little bit too feminine in my mind to have put oil on your face, but.
Are you going to tell me that there are shampoos and conditioners for beards too, by any chance?
I'm not gonna, but I don't know about that, but I'm thinking.
I'm thinking as well.
I'm thinking there probably is.
I'm thinking. I mean, there's a product for everything under the sun these days, right? So
yeah. So I mean, a bit of scissors, maybe action would go. A bit of electric trimmer, but usually just simple shaving cream. For me, cream would be fine, and then a razor. Just an ordinary razor. Gillette.
Gillette.
The best a man can get.
True. I'm sorry. I only use electric. Like I said, I'm a bit lazy with beards.
I don't know, but I prefer the simple but decent enough razor. Doesn't have to be Gillette. It can be anyone, but as long as it's not one of the cheapy disposable ones, you know.
Oh, that one really can cut your face, huh?
Yeah.
Really?
But if it's, but if I'm keeping a beard, I'll have an electric razor, and I do have one for that purpose. But,
my personal preference: get the best electric shaver possible, and it's good for a few years.
Right.
I find good for 5. Yeah, generally. So invest a
Mine's
little
good
bit.
for life.
And then,
I'm keeping mine for life.
oh, really?
I don't know.
I find that the back of the electric razor, you know, the little switch thing that you shave with, that you can't change the blades on that.
Right.
You can change the blades on the main one.
Yeah.
But the back one that I used to shave my beards with, doesn't. So
Get
eventually that
then.
one gets blunt. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Famous people. So we talked a little bit. We mentioned Robert Downey Jr. We mentioned Tom Selleck. Well, from fictional characters, Khal Drogo from Lord of the Rings, the Game of Thrones, had a kind of beard with a ponytail. Oh, he was a big macho guy.
The Viking style.
Yeah. The one Gandalf, right? Not too far, living in New Zealand, not too far from Australia, right? But I'm not going to get them mixed up, I promise. On the negative side, Hitler had something. But Charlie Chaplin, interestingly, Charlie Chaplin had a similar growth, similar shape. But it's...
Actually, it is.
But with his bowler hat, he is instantly recognizable. These guys are recognizable. I mean, if you saw Gandalf without his beard, you'd say, who the heck is that? Right? So they're iconic. Jack Sparrow has got something there.
Yes, of course.
Abraham Lincoln. Famous American.
I think actually he's got his own style. It's called the Abe.
Right?
Yeah.
So imagine a guy like that didn't have a beard. You'd be like, who the heck is this? Hulk Hogan, do you know that guy?
Of course.
Popular in the 90s, 80s maybe too.
Yes.
Big wrestler guy. He was in some films too, and he had like a mustache that went down over his...
the Hogan.
Under his, Salvador Dali we mentioned.
Yes.
Santa Claus.
They don't have Santa Claus here.
Beards, man, we need them. Like if Santa Claus didn't have a beard, who would he be? Who would be like, oh, there's some guy in a red suit.
There's a guy here that replaces Santa Claus, and his name is Des Moroz or something like that.
Des Moroz.
Moroz. And does he have a beard just like our Santa Claus?
It means like Grandfather Frost.
Right.
Yes, he looks... I'm not an authoritative person on this, but he has a lot of similarities to Santa Claus. He can be in blue sometimes.
Yeah, I noticed that. He's
and maybe his coat is a bit longer in some depictions, but he's pretty similar.
I see.
His name is Grandfather. Des Moroz, translated as Grandfather Frost or something.
I see.
So yeah, but he's very close to Santa. Shakespeare had something. Eddie Murphy has a wee bit, a little bit under his lip, and kind of mustache.
He's got a slight Hitler, doesn't he? He does actually. He does have a slight Hitler.
So I mean, my point is like these guys would be. Who would they be without their facial hair? I'm really persuading you now, aren't I? I'm persuading myself. Maybe let's grow beards, right? Or do Movember or something.
Actually, you know what? You're right. I mean, beards do make somebody very recognizable.
I think so. A bit of face garnish.
Bit of face garnish
goes a long way.
Yeah. Face garden, that's really noticeable.
Which in summary, we want to ask, should a guy shave? Is it okay to shave, or should he cultivate his face garden?
That's a question for the ages, that one.
Right. So you at home listening, or wherever you're listening, what do you think? Should we shave? I mean, I don't think it's wrong to shave.
No.
We could never say it's wrong to shave, but I think there's something to be said for a beard, a good beard. So guys, girls, that was the crack about beards and mustaches. We talked a little bit about our own faces, a bit about our history, a bit about the different words and phrases that might be used for beards and mustaches, some of the benefits and even negativity connected with a beard, about the charity Movember, about famous people who have beards and are iconic with them, and a little bit about what we would use for our beard. So that was the crack about beards and mustaches.